Well, welcome to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. We're here today in the magic world of Tristan Crist. And I have to say, I never liked magic, but I love his magic. So if you're going to be up here, I want you to be able to see his show. But we're going to talk about it today and even show you some magic tricks. So Tristan, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And
Thanks
we have
for
your
having
lovely assistant, Shannon McGuire. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
She should be scared sometimes, but she's not, right?
No, it's very rare that I get scared these days. If anything, it's just when we put in a brand new trick that we haven't performed for a live audience yet. I get a little bit of jitters then, but in terms of being scared of the tricks, nah, I'm a professional.
And he could make anything happen. So tell us first how you met.
All right, well, I was performing at Circus World in Baraboo, Wisconsin, and I ended up performing there for 10 years. And towards the end of that 10 years, year 8 or 9, I think, I met Shannon, and she was water skiing for the Tommy Bartlett show in Wisconsin Dells, which is only about 15 minutes away from Circus World. So we knew a bunch of mutual circus performers who worked at the Tommy Bartlett show, worked at Circus World, and we met, and I said, well, she'll fit in the boxes. You know, I can saw her in half. And that's what started happening as I started putting her in the show, and the rest is history. We ended up here in Lake Geneva and opening this place together.
And you have a beautiful building here. You built this, and I was at a press party here. You said 2019.
Yes.
I know, it was a while back.
Yeah, so we came to Lake Geneva in 2015, opened a very small, intimate theater downtown Lake Geneva. I built it in a storefront. It only had 50 seats. And the ceiling was only 9 feet tall, very small, very intimate. That's all I could afford. I came to Lake Geneva with $10,000 to my name, rented that small space, put in seats, built a stage, put in some curtains. And we started performing the show. And we advertised as magic up close and personal because it was so tiny, it was so small. The front row was, literally several feet away from where I was standing performing.
Where
the large
was it?
Illusions.
Downtown?
Downtown, yeah,
Okay.
right next to the bottle shop is there now, right next to the bottle shop. So we did that for a few years. We did hundreds and hundreds of shows in that small venue, became pretty popular here in Lake Geneva. And then I went to the bank and I borrowed hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Millions, it looks like.
Bought the land here, and we put up this 5,000 square foot theater. And we've been here, we opened in June of 2019, and that's when I first met you.
Right. And I think you only did a 20-minute presentation, but I was mystified because it was so good. It was very good.
Thank you.
And I've been back since to see the show.
Yeah, I remember you came up to me afterwards, and you said,
And
I
I
hate
said,
magic,
And
but I liked your
but
show.
I like you. I like your show. Okay, so let's start with telling what some of the things are that you do.
Yeah, of course. So when you think of a typical magician, most people are probably thinking of pulling rabbits out of a hat, but we stay away from that. It's much more of a modern experience, but we do some classic pieces of magic. We've just modernized them for today's audience. There's a lot of music and costumes. Shannon changes her shoes and her costume. We just counted the other day how many times?
I believe it was about, if I remember, it was like 9, possibly 10 if you count like half pieces.
Yeah,
You are a quick change artist. I know
That's
that.
the biggest trick in the show. But we perform large-scale illusions up close and personal. So what do I mean by large-scale illusion? It's like cutting her in half, or we make a helicopter appear on stage. You can see the motorcycle in the background. I appear on the motorcycle right at the beginning of the show out of nowhere, and there I am. So larger than life illusions like you would see in Las Vegas, but here in small town Lake Geneva.
Yeah, and it really is like being in Las Vegas. Now, a lot of people bring children to the show, and you do a lot of, not a lot of, but you do some tricks with the children too. And you were doing these tricks as a child.
Right, that's right. So we always tell people the magic is designed to fool adults, but the kids obviously love it because it's visual. We've got, all these lights are flashing and changing color. Shannon's changing her costumes. We've got big boxes and big tricks and illusions, motorcycles, helicopters on stage. So kids love it because it's a visual feast for the eyes. Now, when I was a young kid starting out, I built a theater in my parents' basement, and I used bed sheets for curtains. And I remember I took a desk lamp and I hung it in the ceiling and used it as a spotlight. And I would put on magic shows for my family and friends.
Were you an only child?
No. I dragged, so I had 2 brothers. they stayed away from what I was doing in the basement. But my younger sister, I dragged her into it with me, and she was my assistant back then. Now she's my half sister. That was a bad joke, but I cut her in half. Now
I
she's
get
my
it.
half.
I get it.
You got it.
I'd like to have that done, as a matter of fact, on behalf of me. But so this game also came out of.
Yeah, this is our Tristan Crist professional magic kit. And so when I was a young kid, I didn't have, obviously, a bunch of money to perform large illusions with motorcycles and helicopters.
Let me hold this
So I
up.
started out with smaller things like cards and rope tricks. And what I did is I picked out some of my favorite magic tricks from when I was a kid, and I put them together. We can open the box up. I'll show you everything that's in here. I've got an instruction booklet here, and then all sorts of props and tricks that you can perform. And some things are easier for younger kids, and some things are a little more difficult. In fact, this rope trick, I'll show that to you in a little bit. It's something
Okay.
I still perform on stage today, and we put it in the magic kit. So we've got this available for when you come to the show. You can purchase these after the show. And a lot of magicians started out with a magic kit as a young kid, and then it went from there. It says right here, it includes the 3-rope mystery as seen at the Tristan Crist Magic Theater in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. And the fine print says motorcycle and lovely assistant not included. So that's all. You got to get your own motorcycle and your own lovely assistant.
right.
But everything else is in the box. So those are pretty cool. And then here, I'll show you this right away too. We just came up with these. It's the Tristan Crist Amazing Magic Coloring Book. Now, it starts
It's
out.
blank.
I know, it's blank. But all you have to do, and Shannon will do it, wave your hands over the book and say the magic words.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra, just like that. There should be pictures on all of the pages. Now, one more time, Shannon, say the magic words.
Abracadabra.
Snap your fingers, and just like that, all those pictures are
Colored.
colored. The
That's
cool thing
amazing.
about this, we sell these after the show. It's a great trick that you can learn how to do. But the other cool thing about this is everything in here is stuff we perform on stage in the show. So there's Shannon getting cut into 2 pieces, and Shannon, we just put in a new trick where Shannon floats high up into the air. So that's right there. So a great way to remember the show. We've got these available as well. We have a deck of Tristan Crist Magic Theater playing cards, and the jokers are pictures of me, and I sign these for kids after the show. So yeah, lots of fun stuff for kids.
So what age is a good age to start bringing kids to the
Yeah,
show?
we say probably around 6 years old is good. The show runs 90 minutes with intermission, so you want your kids to be able to sit through a live theatrical performance. But right around age 6, they're able to do that. And even though they might not understand everything that's happening on stage, they definitely are engaged in the
I know the kids that were
performance.
sitting next to me at the last show, they were dying to get up on stage with you.
That's
You
right,
couldn't take
yeah.
them all, but you did take some of the
Yeah,
kids.
we definitely get a few kids, as well as a lot of adults on stage interacting. That's part of what we think makes the show great, is all the audience participation and different ways everyone in the audience gets to be involved.
Do you ever tell anybody the real how something works?
No, never. In fact, Shannon's been with me for about 10 years now, and I think you've probably figured out most everything, but
So, the things that I get to do and get to be in, but there's things that I'm on stage for, and I've
And
seen
you don't
it
know 'em?
thousands of times, and it drives me insane.
And he won't tell you?
He won't tell me. I guess you gotta keep some things magical.
I know, look at the look on his
It's
face.
annoying.
I know. He's quite a performer, but
magicians
so
always
are
keep
you.
their secrets.
She works really hard in this show too. Yeah.
So
I mean, you both
Shannon
do.
actually starts, and all of the people who work for us, they'll work out front in the box office during the day, taking phone calls or putting orders in, and then once the show experience starts and the audience comes into the lobby, they're popping popcorn, selling candy, soda, water, beer, wine. So it's a whole experience, and then obviously in the show they get to dress up and
And
be
this
in the
is
show.
easily accessible for disabled people. And I know that because I had a knee injury, and she was very kind in where she put the seats, but it's easy to get into as well. There's no problem and obstacles as far as getting into the show for anybody who has to come. Even in a wheelchair, they could come
Right.
easily,
Yeah,
you know.
absolutely. And the other great thing about this, and you have to say, in Lake Geneva, there's always a problem with
Parking.
parking. Yes,
Yeah, I
you know what I'm
yeah,
talking about.
yeah.
So when we built the theater, we, of course, made sure we had a parking lot and plenty of space for all of our patrons to park for free here in Lake Geneva.
Well, you're located in a good spot too, and you're right across from the Walmart and
Yep.
the Taco Bell's near. Everything's being built around here too.
Yeah, easy to find right off the highway. So.
All right, so what do you want to tell us that we don't already know, that you're willing to give up?
That I'm willing to give up. You want a secret? All right, well, I'm going to let you do this one with me. We're going to do it together. So the two of you hold your hands out in front. In fact, we have a studio audience here today. You guys can do this too. Everyone hold your hands out in front of you. Just like this, with your thumbs straight up and down. Perfect. Now, turn your thumbs in towards each other so they're pointed down at the floor. Excellent. Take your right hand right here, cross it over your left hand. Very good. And then clasp your fingers together and keep those thumbs down. This is where it gets difficult. Everyone wave your pinky fingers. Wave your pinky fingers. That's good. That's your middle finger, Karon.
They're all good.
It's okay. It's difficult. I know.
I know, you got to concentrate.
In our audience, on the count of 3, we're going to twist their thumbs around. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Just like that. So your thumbs are straight up and down.
I can't even do it.
Can't do it? Put your hands together. You'll be thinking about that for the rest of the week.
I know.
All right, I tricked you. I didn't actually tell you how that worked, but,
Yeah, but
it was fun.
But you tricked us, right? Okay. I know this studio audience that we have is dying to ask you a question. So I hope they say it loud enough so that you'll have to listen and see what they have to say.
I want to know how you just did that. Do that again by yourself.
A magician never tells.
I'm telling you, I'm see if I can figure it out. I just wanted to ask you, when you were doing this as a child, did you imagine that you would get to the stage in your career that you're at now?
Yeah, so that's a great question. In case you didn't hear, she asked, when I was a young kid doing this, did I ever think I would own a theater and be doing what I'm doing today? And yes, absolutely. In fact, that was my dream as a young kid. I wanted to own my own theater, from hanging those bed sheets and pretending they were stage curtains and performing in the basement. I always knew that's what I wanted to do. In fact, becoming a magician was really a means to an end, because I was fascinated with theater and the technical side, the lights, the sound.
But how? Who took you to see all this?
My parents took me
Yeah.
to see the Milwaukee Ballet Company's production of The Nutcracker when I was very, very young, 4, 5, 6 years old. And I vividly remember first time entering a professional theater, sitting down in those seats and watching the stage change, the scenery and all the magic of the theater. And so that fascinated me, and very quickly they got me involved in dance. I took classes at the Milwaukee Ballet School, and because I was one of only several guys in the classes, it was mostly all hundreds and hundreds of girls, and there were, I think, 3 guys. The Milwaukee
Is
Ballet
that why
Company,
you went there?
Yeah, exactly. No, I was very young. I didn't know the difference, but the Milwaukee Ballet Company needed guys to perform in their big storybook ballets, the professional ballets. So eventually I got to be in the Nutcracker as the little drummer boy, and I think I was in Cinderella, I was a page. And so anytime they needed a young boy in the ballets, they would call me up and put me in those shows. Now the cool thing was, and these were professional, lavish productions, I got to hang out backstage as a young kid and watch from the wings, from the side, as all the special effects happened, the scenery was moving, the lighting. And so that stuff really fascinated me. And I figured out, if I become a magician, I can do all that. I can be in control of all the different elements. So I'm not just, an actor on stage, but I'm also picking out the music for the illusions that we perform and the choreography, and working with Shannon on the costuming and doing the lighting and making it right. So all the different elements of the theatrical experience I get to do. And by building my own theater, I really have my hands in every single element of running the production, from the onstage stuff to the backstage stuff to the front of house stuff.
So it makes a big difference what you take a kid to see at a young age.
That's right.
It really does.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that influenced me, and here I am today. So, but yeah, I always knew as a young kid, thanks for your question, that this is exactly what I wanted to do.
Well, I decided to be a nurse in 4th grade, and because my girlfriend's her brother was getting injured by somebody, and I wanted to be the person to step in to change that, So
Yeah.
I guess you can make those decisions early. Did you know what you were going to do, Shannon? No.
Not at all. This was kind of a wild thing, and I am so happy for it. Meeting Tristan, and if you would ask me when I was a kid, I would have had the biggest stage fright. I was afraid, never wanted to be in drama class or anything like that. Being a water skier, you perform thousands of feet away from the audience, so being so much closer here was never something I thought I was going to be able to do. But then when I met Tristan and just starting to learn and getting into it, I just fell in love with it, and he showed me the passion and having your hands in everything. It's amazing. I wouldn't look back today.
Do you have another question?
No, I'm good. You can go on.
So they're learning everything that they have to learn from you. They're already taught.
Good, good.
It's like, are you going to do another trick for
Yeah,
us?
let me do something else
Okay.
for you. Let's see. Here we go. We're going to do a rope trick. And I have 3 ropes.
You better do it with her. I don't want to mess it up.
Here, we're going to have you. Why don't you look at that one? Just make sure it's a solid rope. You can pull on it. Shannon, you check out the short one there. I'll switch with you. So I'll take the long one back. And then here, I'm going to stand up so we can do this. And perfect. So 3 ropes, long, medium, and short. What you're about to see right now is an illusion. Absolutely none of this is real. That was a joke. All right, here we go. Long, medium, and short. Watch. Just like that, all 3 ropes about the same size. There's the long rope. There's the medium-sized rope. There's the short rope. There's the applause.
And I'm right here, and I thought I'd get to see what you were really
I can
doing.
tell you're a little confused, so I'll slow it down. I'll get rid of one of the ropes in my pocket. That leaves me with just 2 ropes about the same size. Now, if you blink, don't blink, then it's just one
Now
rope.
it's one.
If you want, you can tie a knot in the rope. It looks like this. You wrap around once, twice, you get a knot. Snap the fingers, turns into a slip knot. Just like that. Here's the cut and restored rope trick. Just like that, it's cut. Restored, of course. Once again, 2 ropes, about the same size. Now, remember, if you blink, try not to blink, then it's just one. We're right back where we. This is why you hate magic, right? Because you can't
And I'm
figure
right
it out.
here. I mean, I'm right here, and I can't.
If you want, you can actually take the ends off the rope. It looks like that. It leaves you a rope with no ends, which is not very useful. So I'll put it back together. There it is. I'm sorry, guys. I know, it's crazy, isn't it? Now, if you can take the ends off over there, you can certainly take the middle off over here, but I forgot how, so I'll skip that. Yeah, right. I'm joking. I got it. Once again, 2 ropes about the same size. Here's rope number 3. Remember, I started all this with 3 ropes of different sizes. I had a long rope over there on the end, a medium-sized rope in the middle, and a short rope over here on the other side. Now, once again, you can still see both ends of the rope. Remember, that's a long rope right over there. A medium-sized rope in the middle, and a short rope all the way there on the end.
Shannon, do you know how that one works?
No, that one I don't know.
No?
No,
Now,
he doesn't let me know
If
that
you
one.
want to know how that works, once again, we have our professional Tristan Crist Magic Kit, and the rope trick is
And it does
actually
tell you what to do in there?
and it does tell you how to perform it.
Very interesting. Okay, why did you pick Lake Geneva?
That's a great question. So, Lake Geneva I didn't know much about it. I grew up in Milwaukee. We never came to Lake Geneva as a kid. In fact, I think we would always go to Wisconsin Dells or Door County. You always go north, I guess. But when I was up in Baraboo performing at Circus World, and I met Shannon and one of my other assistants, and we were talking about where we could potentially go and build a theater and take the show. My other assistant at the time was living in Delavan, which is real close. Then Shannon grew up in Wonder Lake, Illinois, which is also very close. So they both said, hey, why don't we look at Lake Geneva? I'm thinking, Lake Geneva, what is there to do in Lake Geneva? You know, I don't know anything about it. So we came to Lake Geneva one summer night after our shows at Circus World. We drove down, and we were walking around by the lake, and it was fascinating how many people there were,
Oh, yeah.
you know, right around the lake at that time of night. I started looking into it more and realizing there's all these resorts around here, great restaurants, different activities, things for people to do. And I thought, you know, rather than move to a bigger city, why not go to Lake Geneva where everyone from Chicago
I was going to say,
comes?
let the city come to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we, you know, I've never looked back. It was a wonderful decision to come to Lake Geneva. And that's the truth. All of Chicago comes to Lake Geneva.
So does Milwaukee.
Yeah, and not just once, but they come again and again and again back every summer.
And
So-
people have all their relatives come, so they want to entertain them.
Exactly. We're always getting repeat audience members. They've come to the show 2, 3, 4 times, and so we're always trying to put new stuff in the show to give them something new.
That's because they're trying to figure it out.
That's right.
It's like, but I know they love to bring the kids too, like I said. Well, what would you say is a good age? You said before about 6?
Yeah, about 6.
I mean, even to see the show, though, a younger one could even see
Oh
it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've had young kids. I mean, people have brought their newborn babies to see the show. That's probably too young, but
That's a good
no,
start,
we welcome families. Grandma and grandpa come with all the grandkids or stuff like that all the time. Or we have, and this happened last night at our show, we have 2 younger adults on date night, 20, 30-something-year-old, and they watch the show thinking it's more for adults, and they come out and they're like, that show was so amazing, we can't wait to bring our kids. So they come back with the kids then.
I thought you were going to tell me he proposed to her or
Oh
something.
yeah, we've had that happen a few times.
Have you?
Yeah, magical proposals.
Did they set it up with you in advance?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they
I hate doing it because I'm always nervous.
Why?
What if she says no?
Oh,
Then what?
then you have to magically transform the answer.
Yeah.
Well, this At the Lake magazine that I want to show, this is something that you were in at one time.
Yeah.
I know we don't have that one to show, but this gives a lot of information about what's going on in Lake Geneva at all times. And there's always something. Every season is different and decorated. Like Christmas is coming up. I know they have parades for 4th of July and Christmas. I've had a house in Williams Bay for many years. So I get to bring you weren't here though when my nieces and nephews were really little. So I didn't get to bring
You're going to have to bring them back now.
I know, I'll bring them back now.
Yeah, that's a great magazine. Another one is the
And they're
Visit
free.
Lake- Yeah,
They're free.
Yeah, we've got them in our lobby. You can find them all over town. Visit Lake Geneva is the other one. I think you might have a copy
Yeah,
of
I
that
think I
one.
do.
And if you go to visitlakegeneva.com, that's the local chamber of commerce, and they've got all sorts of different articles and ads about the
Well, and
the
this one's a
activities.
map too,
Oh yeah,
which has got all different kinds of stuff here, food and drink, accommodations, and all kinds of
it's
stuff.
amazing how much there is to do in Lake Geneva.
And the boat cruise too.
Yes,
They
yes, you
go-
got to go on the boats. Gotta
Have
go
you
on the
gone
lake.
on those?
Yeah,
many,
we did.
Many times.
Early on when we came to town, we tried to go around and check everything out. We probably need to do it again because there's been more things that have popped up in the last
And they
few
have the
years.
choices of the long-term boat ride or the short-term or whatever. Shows you all the different mansions here and who built them. A lot of people came here during the Chicago fire because they had homes here and they couldn't stay in their homes in Chicago.
Yeah.
So what else do you have to tell us?
Well, do you want to see one more trick?
Yeah.
Let's do one more. Shannon, if you could just
I was
grab
going
that
to say, not
table.
if I have to do it because I might mess it up.
Here we go. Perfect. So this is an old table my grandpa had, and I rescued it. I think it's maybe a little haunted. I'm not sure, but don't worry.
I was born on Halloween, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then this will be perfect. I'm not sure if it'll work tonight, but if you could just grab that corner with that hand and just lightly grab that corner there, we'll move it a little closer to you. I'll grab these 2 corners on this side. We'll just focus right on the center of the table, right there in the middle. We'll see if. Oh, there. Oh no. Oh, go ahead, let go of your corners. I think it's gonna. There. Whoa. There it goes. Sometimes people think there's strings, but nothing underneath there. See if we can get it to settle down. There it is. Just.
Well, we've got 4 minutes left. So if Sue Larson has another question, we'll let her do it. She's out of questions. I can't believe it. Paul, Butch, no questions. They're in shock.
That's good. I did my job. I did my
I know.
job.
They're like looking mesmerized. That's right.
That's the thing with magic. There's 2 types of people who watch magic. They either try to figure it out, or they just enjoy the experience and enjoy, being fooled. It doesn't matter what type of person you are. We've got something for everyone. If you go to our website, lakegenevamagic.com, you can see our show schedule and purchase tickets. We're open year-round, so we always have shows.
Can you give your phone number a couple of times also?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. If you call the box office, Shannon will probably be the one answering. That is 262-248-0505. 262-248-0505 or lakegenevamagic.com.
Okay, because some people don't have smartphones or whatever and they want to call. So if you didn't have a pencil at the moment, in another minute we'll give that phone number again. So this has been very mesmerizing. I know it's very interesting, and I know you've got a lot of other things to say.
Well, thank you so much for having me on the
It's like,
show. We appreciate it.
Well, you know, COVID kind of stopped me for a while because we weren't taping for a while. So that's the reason it's taken longer to get you on. And I know you're busy. You also use this for other people to entertain too.
Yeah, we bring in, we have different shows coming in. A mentalist sometimes performs here. We've had a couple of magicians, guest acts come in. So we're always just trying to change it up.
Yeah,
for-
that
for
mentalist
people.
I bet is good too, because I
Yeah.
saw one downtown in Chicago,
Yeah.
and he was looking for a pink curler, and I'm the only one that had one in my purse because I carry them with me,
Of course.
and they're falling all over the place. And I have to tell you, one time I dropped one in a restaurant, and it rolled over to a table with 4 guys, and they said, "Is your phone number in here?" I said, "No, but that's a great idea because instead of women dropping a handkerchief, they could just roll a curler over." It's cute. Okay, so I want you to tell people again how to reach you, what the times are, and the information that they need. We have 3 minutes to do it.
Absolutely. So the website, once again, is lakegenevamagic.com. The phone number, 262-248-0505. We're open year-round. During the summer months, we have shows 6 nights a week. And then during the rest of the year, we're mostly on Fridays and Saturdays. But for spring break, we ramp up the schedule, or Christmas. A lot of times for Christmas, people bring their families to the show, Thanksgiving weekend.
And can you give them the times too so they have
Yep.
an idea?
On Friday nights, our shows are at 7 p.m. Saturday nights, our shows are at 5 p.m. And then during the summer months, mostly 7 p.m. during the week and 5 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
And you can Google your name.
That's
Tristan
right.
Crist.
Yeah, just search Tristan Crist. You'll get all
Let
the
me
information.
show that one more time. And these are available afterwards so your kids can learn all kinds of things.
That's
Okay,
right.
Shannon, we've got 1 minute left. I'm going to give it to you. What would you like to say about this?
Oh goodness.
Tell us your favorite trick in the show.
My favorite trick in the show, it's actually one that we just recently put in. It is the levitation. It is so cool. I've never been able to perform a levitation. I've been working with you for about 10 years, and you had this concept to come up with a brand new levitation where it's not that I just go up and down. I go all over the stage. I'm going left, right, up, down, and it just feels so good. It feels just, I feel lighter than air, and it's amazing. It is my absolute favorite right now. I
It's
hope we never.
amazing to watch.
It's really cool.
And the other ladies, 1 minute left. What did the other ladies do quick?
So the other assistants in the show, we start them out, so they do start out in the box office. They sell popcorn, answer phone calls and everything, but then when we do bring them on stage, we make them appear. We also do have another girl, she does a little bit of a levitation, not like my levitation, but we do float her in between 2 of us. They also just assist on stage, bring props in and out. It's super fun. We get to dress up, and everyone loves working here. It's great.
Well, thank you, and thank you for joining us. And we're finished now. If you get a chance and you want to see magic, come to Lake Geneva. It's a wonderful show, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. I'm Karon Gibson. Thank you.